Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. Again, I pulled this from the archives. I did this got a couple years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. But it is basically a belly band with a flip out writing space. So not an accordion writing space, but a flip out writing space. So I am doing this a little bit differently than I did in my original video. But, and I originally watched this over, Corey Dahman over at Creating with Scraps, I believe is her channel name, is where I watched it again over 2 years ago. So you can check her out as well. So I have some supplies out, my template as well, my archival ink, which I'm going to set aside, my scissors just in case, corner rounder, my eyelet setter, eyelets. I am going to be using a long arm stapler. These are very, very affordable. I got it on Amazon. I will try to remember to link it. I'll leave it out on my desk so I remember. But very affordable because our depth of where our staple needs to go is going to be too deep for regular staples. So, and that will make more sense here in a moment. I'm going to move my mouse. I have all that room and I still haven't figured out how to keep my mouse out of my way. So I need to grab a drink. Just a second. I've been in the studio all morning. It is Wednesday, July the 30th. It's my anniversary, 42nd anniversary to the most beautiful, amazing man you could ever know and meet. A great friend, my best friend, a great father, an amazing father actually, epic papa, and just a great husband, just an all-around fantastic, beautiful man. So happy anniversary, Tim. So this is the template, and so this will help me without all the busyness of the images to show you what the construction looks like. So I didn't write this in black yet, but I made a revision here. So basically, this would be the front of the belly band, okay? So in theory, you would have this glued up here, and you would have it glued, sorry, here and here. I'm doing it a little bit different so that the entire mechanism, the whole entire piece is removable. Now I can't show you all of the parts of it because it will get Velcroed to whatever the page in the journal is going to go on. So, so in this case, it would be Velcroed here, probably 2 pieces of Velcro here, and then we would put a Velcro on the back of this tab to hold our other side, because this would go over the page. Okay, so over the page. Let me show you. Boy, I am just gangbusters. So let's say this is our journal page. It would go over like that. It would be Velcroed down here, and then when you flipped the page over, it would be Velcroed here. Now the reason why I wanted to have it be removable is because it would be very hard to write in this writing pad when it's on it. But if you took this out, you could flip this over, you could write in it. I did this one opening the other way just because of the direction of my paper at the time, or what I was thinking, I guess. So so that's how it would work. So this space here is 3 inches by 6 1/4. So I edited this note to say 3 by 6 1/4. I'm going to leave that note just so you can see how I came to that. So I'm adding a quarter inch for the hinge, because our paper, there's no paper that's going to be long enough to do both of these pieces. Okay, so that is 3 by 6 1/4. I did a whale tail punch there, and then obviously this is also 3 inches, but it is 8 1/4 inches high. So this is our base for today's project. So this will be our belly band. I'm just going to put that over there. And then these are the samples that I made. So in order to make it removable, I also thought it would be good to put a paper clip at the top, because we're not going to put any Velcro to hold it up at the top. So this masked paper clip will hold it, and I will show you again how to make those. And then it would be Velcro down here at the bottom onto the page. So this is what the masked paper clip looks like. So it's just a way to cover it with paper so it doesn't look like a paper clip. Really nifty. I love making those. And so this has 2 really large journal cards that go behind the belly band and are also obviously removable. So this one again would flip up, and you would have all this writing space. There's 4 pages of paper in here, which means there's well, if you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 pages of writing space. So that's really, really great. As you know, if you've been following me, I love any ephemera that gives me low profile writing space. And you can see the profile of this. It's a little bit thick, but it's not like gargantuan. It's not abnormally thick. Okay. I already embellished this one off camera. We'll do the one completely on camera today. So that is the first one. You just get this back on here, and then we'll look at our other samples. I did 3 altogether off camera, I believe. Let's just set that over there. Did I? No, I didn't. I did 2. So add this one, the paper clip is already off. So this paper clip, another mass paper clip goes on the top. And we've got the same thing. We've got 2 journal cards with some seam binding on them. And then this flips up, and this one also flips that way. Now this one I tried to use I just used a regular stapler and opened it up, but I had a really hard time pushing those edges down so they weren't poking me. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. We might do that again. The long arm stapler is hard to get an accurate lineup, so I struggle with it every time. So that is the second one. Okay. So I'm going to just stick that in here. I'm dying of heat in here. It's not even that hot outside. I'm not sure why it's so hot. Today is a cooler day here in Washington State. Yesterday was a killer. Really, really hot. So these are all on my bit. So I've got some seam binding. I have a couple of tabs already cut, a couple of quotes already cut. I'll have to reach and grab some lace behind me when we get there. And then this will be for, what was this supposed to be for? I don't know. Oh, for wrapping the paper clip. So for our mass paper clip, and then there's our paper clip. Okay. But let's start with the construction. These are our 2 journal cards. Okay. These are from the Scrimping Mommy kit called My Creative Life or A Creative Life. Can't remember. It will be linked below. Now this one, I didn't want to waste this paper. So let me just bring this back over and show you that my paper is slightly shorter because I don't want to waste it. Okay, so if you look here, it's slightly shorter. We're going to make it work. It just means the booklet inside is going to be a little bit shorter than what you see here. So in the samples, this measures 2 3/4 by, should have given those dimensions. I think they might be on the template. 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, in the samples that I did. Okay, I don't know why I'm so out of breath. So these are our papers, more than I need, but I just wanted to show you that. So we will have those, we'll work on those in a moment. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is I'm going to bring over my small trimmer. I've been working with the big trimmer off to my right because I've got all this space, but for the purposes of the camera and the video, I'm going to go ahead and use the small one. And so we are going to cut this to 3 inches wide. And we're actually going to cut 2 of them, okay? So 3 inches. Just trying to get that even. Sometimes you get an uneven cut on these. So that's 3 and 3. So you can get this done with one sheet of digital paper, which is always nice. And then you've got this extra scrap that we might use for something. Okay. And so this one is the piece that we're going to say is going to be 6 1/4 inches long. And the reasons why it's going to be 6 1/4 is because we want a 6 inch on the other side, but we want the 1/4 inch hinge. So I'm going to go ahead and score that hinge piece there. And then I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to, that's my hinged edge. So we're going to line this up to 6 1/4. We're only doing 1 on camera. I've got some things I need to go out and do, so I'm just going to do 1, and then I'm going to get busy on the grungy journal. So I've got to get going. Okay, so that is our 3 inch by 6 1/4 inch piece, and then this one needs to be 8 1/4. So we're going to just line that up to the 8 1/4 inch mark. Sorry, everything's crooked. There we go, 8 1/4. Throw that over there. And then what we're going to do is set that over there, and we're going to go ahead and get my bone folder. And we're going to go ahead and just fold that and give that a good burnish. And I think I did rounded edges on that other one. I really, really like that look. So I think we're going to round the edges, but we'll round them after we get this on. So this is going to go on here like this, okay? It's going to go, oh, not that way. This is going to be like that. So let me glue that on first. Oh my goodness, off to a rockin' start. I'm still so tired, so tired. And I did sleep in a little bit today, not too much, maybe an extra hour. Usually I wake up when my husband leaves, but today I was able to stay asleep. He had a really hard day at work yesterday, so I did message him, happy anniversary. He's like, oh my gosh, I've been so stressed, I forgot. I'm like, no, it's okay. When you've been married 42 years, you know, those things don't seem to matter quite as much as they did when we were younger. So there we go. So we are, it looks like we're pretty straight. Sometimes things get a little off, but I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm going to round the edges of this, and I'm going to ink it up, and I will be right back. I think I am going to show you how to do the shortcut way of using a regular stapler, because not everybody has a long arm stapler, and I want this to be doable for everybody who's watching. So we'll fuss through that together. Okay, so there's that. So now when you do this, you could have your this on the other side flip down, or you can have it flip up. Now, because we're making these removable, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. The only time it matters is when you start to decorate your front and back. You would want to make sure you've got it going the direction you intend to put it in your journal. So I'm going to reach for that, my regular stapler here. Not that one. This one. And we're going to fuss with that and make it work. So I've got a couple foam pads. What did I do with those? Over there on the sewing machine where they belong. Okay. Sorry for my squeaky chair. I really need to figure this out. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I think that I'm going to have it go this way this time, because it's different than what I did on my samples. So our booklet is going to go right here. So our paper is here, and when I was working just off camera, I scored them all at the same time, and that didn't really work all that great. So I know that 2 3/4, just because I made a note and I did all the math, 2 3/4 and 2 3/4 is a 5 1/2. So we need our width of our paper 5 1/2. So I'm going to pick 4 of these sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we only need 4, and we're going to cut these down to 5 1/2 total width. Okay. And obviously we don't have to cut them down, because they're already shorter than what we would have really wanted. And so then I'm going to score each one of them at 2 3/4 inches. This paper that the tea stain paper is on is a 32-pound paper. I don't really like the weight of the 20-pound for really much of anything, unless I'm doing some master boards or something. So, and the reason why I'm scoring them individually is because when I did them together, it was very, very uneven. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these. Doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect now either, but it's going to be better than it would have been. Just like when you sew your signatures in, you get that bulk that pushes your pages out. As you get more and more pages in your signature, your pages can end up sticking out farther than you want them to, and that's just because of the fold. Okay, so I think I'm going to I'm just trying to think. I probably need to ink these because if I don't, I'll be sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go off camera. I'm going to ink all around the inside and outside of each of these pages, and I'll be back. So just about to the end, I'm looking at these and realizing that still my edges are all weird. So, but at least I know that my score line is not going to bulk up as much as it would have if I had just tried to score them all at one time. So just finishing up this last one. It's a pretty fast dealio. Not too bad. So how are you guys doing? I was excited to see some more watercolor in our group. Evie came on and she posted and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. It's so Evie. It's so soft and loose and just very gentle looking, and that is definitely her personality and her demeanor as far as I have been able to witness. So, and her style is very soft too. So just in terms of how she makes her journals and stuff, I was blessed to receive one from her and it was just such an honor. So there we go. So we're going to go ahead and just sandwich these together. We'll get them all burnished again here in a second. Okay, so those are all going to get stacked together. So see, we still have that issue, right? Just like we do with our journals, but it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just give that a crease. Okay. And then I'm going to bring my little foam things over here and my stapler. So I have one that just opens up completely. So I just open it up like that. Okay. So then we're going to just do this the old-fashioned way. I don't know if maybe they did this back in the day. I don't know. I'm just grabbing my pokey tool because it's got that little end on it that can help me with this endeavor. So I am going to go ahead and open this up to the center, and I'm going to put it on my my foam here just so I don't go through to my desk. And I'm just moving that a little bit. Get in camera here. And this is easier for me to tell if it's even than the long arm stapler. It's just so difficult. And if you get it out of whack and it's just too far over, you can always pull it out. But that was perfect. Look at that. Could not have been better. So pull that out. We'll smash that down in a minute. And we're just doing two. We're not like holding together a city here, so we can just do two staples, I think. And just boom. Yep, another perfect poke there. Pull that out, and then I'm just gonna oh, that's a little bit off on that one, but hopefully it'll be okay on the underside. I just don't like being poked, really. I was poking myself trying to make this happen, so I'm just going to use this and just give that a press down if I can. And get that one over and get that pressed down. Yeah, that worked out okay. Okay. There we go. Hopefully that won't be a problem because we do have one of the staples is a little off on the other side. But I think we're okay. So then I'm just going to burnish that again. So it's nice and a tight fold. Okay. And then we're going to bring our project back. And it's going to go here, and it's not too bad like that actually. And I decided I thought about rounding the corners on the writing paper, but that's a lot of work, so I decided not to do that. So basically, because this is shorter, I'm going to come down a little ways here. I'm going to probably center it a little bit more in this space, and I'm just going to put Fabri-Tac on the whole back of this page. Okay. Just like that. Is this 20-pound paper? I might have misspoke. I'll hold that paper and see if I could tell a little bit better. I want to make sure you get accurate information here from me. Okay, so just centering it there. Oh, you know what? No, well, I can't tell. I think it's 32 pound. Okay, so that is done. And we should have put our whale tail punch on there first. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's okay. So let's see if we can pull this up a little bit. I like to get it underneath that. My apologies, guys. So I'm just going to pull that up. I'm going to ink this really quick and put this on the bottom. I didn't actually cut one for this part of it, so I'll have to cut another one for the journal cards. I'm going to head out a little bit and run an errand, and well, I gotta get myself cleaned up because my hair looks like an explosion happened. And I'm gonna just go. I decided I would go. I'm gonna probably go get something I can just throw in the oven for dinner. Maybe go to Costco or something, and then I'm gonna stop at a bakery in town here I've never been to and see if I can find a good dessert for us. So I'm just trying to center that. It's a little bit trickier because I didn't put this on first, so I apologize for that angle, but that worked out fine. And then we're going to just glue that back down. I'm just going to use the white glue here. Okay. Boom. You know what I say, where there's a will, there's a way. So there we go. That's really pretty with those two. Oh, I didn't find anything to decorate the front. We're going to have to do that together. Imagine that. Let's get it. Let's get, these are our cards, but let me pull out some of the ephemera from the Angela. Well, they mix really well. So I'll just want to pull in the colors that we have in these polka dots. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. And let's start with this side. I'm just looking for purple. I need something with some purple. Now I like these, but I'm not a big fan of that black and white text, and that's, you know, that's not a negative about Amanda at all. It's just my preference. My preferences are different. So I wonder if we could use these two conversely. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut off that word, and that's okay. We can use our digitals however we want. I'm just not a big fan of the white. I'm going to try to cut that straight. Okay. Yeah, but that'll go on the green side just to create some contrast and some interest. Okay. And we're not going to round it or anything. Those will work out perfectly. I think another thing that would be really pretty in this case would be a strip of paper, which that's not going to work. Let me see if I've got another one over here. Yeah. Oh, it's not tall enough. What did you do? Oh, yeah, there we go. Hold on. Let me just cut this down. I'm just going to cut about a 1-inch strip here or so. I'm not going to really be too particular about it because I have to get 2 of them out of this strip that's all cut weird. So I'm going to go like that. And I actually only need 1 of that color. So, oh, perfect. We'll be able to make that work. So this is going to go up and down like that. So I'm going to just turn this. And then we'll get our other edge. That was not cut straight. Let me fix that. You know, hand trimming with the scissors doesn't usually end well with me. As a rule. There we go. And I'm going to just go down and I'm going to make a pencil mark. I'm just going to try. I'm aiming for the center. I'm not, again, I don't strive for perfection, so where it lands, it lands. I'm not going to worry about it. I just look and see if it just looks visually confusing is mainly what I look for. I'm not looking for absolutely perfect dimensions, though. Okay, so then think I actually want that there. Yeah, we're going to do purple on purple and just have the other coordinating paper be the opposite on the strip, if that makes any sense. Okay. Yeah, I like it. So we're just going to glue this on. Whoops. Whoopsie, whoopsie. So I mentioned in an earlier video that we're going to the county fair, the Clark County Fair here, and it's not going to be hot. I mean, it might be a little bit muggy, but it's not going to be like 90 degrees or 95 degrees. It's going to be a little overcast, and I'm going to do the rides. I'm not doing the like really, really crazy ones like I could do and would do when I was younger, because I'm not young anymore. Oh, I guess we do have to use the same color because it's still purple. So that's okay. But I am going to buy a ride bracelet. And I'm going to ride with the grands. Shoot. Wish I'd thought about that. I'm not liking that. Let me think on this a second. Because how do I have it meet it? I guess I could have it come down, but that would be kind of weird. Darn it. Doggone it. Hold on. I'm wondering if I can just... If I round them, they're going to go opposite. I'm going to try something here. We can try new things here, can't we? This inverted thing, I wonder if this would work. This might spoil this piece, but we can get another one. Oh yeah, that's not going to work. Cara-Renee. Yeah, that's not working at all. Oh my heavens. Well, you know what? We tried, right? So, I really don't like that though. I'm trying to figure out a way to go down there. Maybe we'll go the other way. Let's go this way. That will solve that problem. Sorry for the confusion all over the map today. Really enjoyed my grandkids, but I'm glad to be home alone again. Where's my eraser? Where did you go, eraser? Can't find it. I don't know. Things disappear. I blame it on the kids, but I think I used it since they were here. We did go out and sit on the patio. We have a really large stone paver patio under the cedar trees that we sat out there, and I painted and the kids did some drawing, and it was really nice, really pleasant. I think I can use my white glue on this because a small piece, not as much adjustment needed. So anyway, I was able to use my rolling cart. You know, I had mentioned that in a previous video. I created a rolling cart that I could roll to the couch or I could roll out onto the deck, but we went a step further and we took it out to the patio out under the cedar trees, and we did that 2 days in a row, and it was really lovely. I almost finished my yellow rose painting, so hope to finish that today, and maybe I'll post it on Facebook. But yeah, look at that. That's so cool. That is not even though. Oh well. Oh well. We don't strive for perfection in these parts. Perfection is a thief. I say that all the time. I really, really believe it. Perfection is a thief in all areas of our lives. Okay? Oh, that's so pretty. So I want something on that little tab. So let me see if I've got something I can just nab a little bit of something out of. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a circle out of this. It's probably, I don't know if this is going to be too, how wide is this? It's 1.5 inches. What is this? 1.5 inches, so it should work. So I'm going to try to cut a circle out of this. If I can. Can I? Oh no, I can't. It's too small. Shoot. Okay. Well, well, well. What are we going to do? I'm gonna have to get a smaller punch. So let me grab a smaller one yet. I don't want to go too small because that's ridiculous. Like, oh, I guess that wouldn't be too bad. Just get her pretty face. Let's go for that. I just want something to decorate that tab. Since we don't have really a pattern on this piece, the base, it's kind of nice to add a little bit of extra oomph to it. So I'm just going to put some white glue on the back of that. And we're going to put that right there. Just centering it there as best I can. Okay, that works. Okay. So that is that. So we are done with the main part of this. So let's go ahead and do our cards really quick, which is easy peasy. I'm going to round the corners on this. One is slightly larger than the other one because I like that. I like them to be staggered so that you can see the larger one behind the smaller one when it's in a pocket, or in this case behind the belly band. So we're going to do that. I'm going to ink these up really quick. I love all the white in this kit. I like the light colors. I didn't tend toward it initially, but it's marrying up really well with the other kits that I'm using from, I think it's Nifty House or something like that. So it's working out pretty well, and I can pull out some white lace and make them kind of pretty. I'm going to punch one more whale tail punch because I used one unexpectedly. So I've already got one in green, so I think I'll do the other one in purple. Like so. Get me a, come on, get in there. Is there paper in there? Nope. There we go. Ink that up lightly. Now, I was going to say as I was inking, but I realized I wasn't talking while I was inking. You could ink this up with some kind of a colored ink or not ink at all. I just love just that tad bit of vintage look to all of my work, and so I always ink with Vintage Photo. When I did the boho journal, I did supplement and inked with some other colored inks, which turned out really, really great. Okay, so there we go. So this is the one behind, so it doesn't really matter how we do this, but I'm going to put this on. And we're going to do our masked paper clip together too, in case you haven't seen that before. I like to stagger my tags, so I'm putting this one up towards the top, probably about 1.5 inches from the top. Does not matter, doesn't have to be that precise measurement. And then putting the one down on the other one down below, lower, about 1.5 inches from the bottom. And then that way they're not stacked. And that reduces your bulk as well. And again, I'm not measuring, I'm just estimating here. Okay. There we go. And I'll put some whale tail tabs on those off camera, but I wanted this one on top because I like that purple. I think it's going to be a really beautiful peeking through. Well, you can't really see it, but that's okay. Look at that. Isn't that so fun? So, and I will also put, I'll put a little piece of lace on these, probably just here and then here, and I'll put a word. I already have the little quotes from my quote page. So one says, "Every quilt has a story, and sewing is my passion." So that's that. But I do want to show you how to do the masked paper clips. So our paper clip is here, and I think I used the paper for the paper clip, but this should work just fine. So what you want to do, doesn't matter what weight paper you use. I like to stick my paper clip slightly higher so it's sticking out. So, but not sticking out a ton. Okay, and I'm going to make a pencil mark here. Okay, and I'm just going to do a rough cut here just with my scissors. It's not as important for this to be straight. And I'm going to go down a ways because we need two pieces, one for the bigger part and one for the smaller part. So we'll start with the bigger one. So then I put this on here, line that up, and then, well, I got to turn it for my own benefit. So because you want to pull this, get your paper clip in there, and then fold this over and just press it up against that paper clip, okay, just to make your indentation, and then go ahead and straighten it with your, like that, okay, so that it's not, your edges are straight, okay, and then stick that back in there, and then you roll it one time, okay, and you want it to be pretty tight so it doesn't come off, okay, and then I'm just going to give that a press, and I'm just going to cut with my scissors. And I'm cutting at an angle so I can get it as close as possible to that edge, like that. And then we're going to ink it up. Again, if inking is not your thing, you don't have to, but I like it. I'm just inking all the edges that are going to show. Now on the big paper clip, I like to leave the seam the same width as the edge because then it doesn't show. And on the other one, I put the seam in the middle because I can turn the thing around. So now you're going to go ahead and glue this shut. Make sure you don't get any glue in the inside. That would cause your paper clip to stick, okay? So that's that. So slide that on there because we're going to do the next piece. Whoops. You want that, the short part of the paper clip to stick out. Boom, like that. And that's our other side. So we want to, now we're going to wrap that one. So we could wrap it with the other color, couldn't we? I think that would be cool. Let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just, let me get this white off of here. We can change our minds, right? And again, you're lining it up, but this time we're lining up this gives second paper to the top of that, and then we're going to make a mark at the bottom of that paper clip. Okay, it's going to be shorter. Okay, so I'm going to make a mark there. And again, I'm just going to do a rough cut here. I've got the dots to follow, so it shouldn't be too dangerous. Okay. And then again, you're going to put it underneath your paper clip, and then only allow enough there to fold over. You don't want it to be too bulky. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over. Just again, a gentle, I can see that it's lined up on the edges, so I'm just going to continue without taking it off. I'm going to press that one in, okay, like so, and I'm going to open it and I'm going to cut it just like, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch. It doesn't need much of an overage there. Okay, so this one's a little bit smaller, doesn't have as much bulk and fold to it. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to ink that up. We don't have to ink the seam because we're going to turn it so that it's to the inside. Like so. Love making mass paper clips. They're just, it's just a way to, and you could make them really grungy too. I haven't done a lot of that, but you could make them really fun that way. And but it's just a way to kind of decorate your paper clips really, really easily and coordinate with your papers. So I'm just pushing that on. You do want a fairly thick paper because when you do that, that paper can bend and be a little bit frustrating. So I need to, we've got a little bit too much paper there, but I'm not going to cut it off because I don't want to risk opening up something. So we've got a little bit of an overlap there that I didn't really want. I don't know if you guys can see that. So what I do want to do for you is pull over some words and just get a small word. If I can find a small word paper, just a second. I should have thought about that because there's a whole bit of this kit, this these quote papers that are small words. So I'm trying to find that. I don't know what I did with it. Shoot. Hold on. Actually, another thing you could do is just cut off a word. So we're going to do, well, we're going to do crafting magic. We'll just split them. One on the front, one on the back. Okay, so you want a pretty small word to go on these. And these are a little bit tall, so I'm trimming inside the boundary of the digital here on the bottom bit. So there's one, and then this one will go on the larger part of the paper clip, the longer part. And then I'm going to get a piece of lace, so just a moment. Actually, I'm going to use a little bit of white gauze here. Something fell on the floor. Been rolling around on it. So we've got this, and then I've got these little flowers I thought we would add as well. Some little white flowers, so we're just going to get a piece of this. I don't know if this is gauze or cheesecloth. It might be cheesecloth. And then I just kind of clip that excess off. Okay, and we can kind of pull on that a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. I do have that layer doubled because it's pretty thin. This cheesecloth is very thin. Okay, like so. And then we're going to go ahead and ink this up. And put that on. I'm going to put the flower towards the top on this one. So right there. I'm going to save the flower for a sec though. Turn it over. And then we'll get another piece here. I want to kind of double that, so I'm going to play around with that in a sec here. Because it's very thin again. Like that. Ah, stick, stick. Not to my fingers. I'm just going to clip that there. And clip that there. We're not trying to line it up. I just don't want a bunch of, I don't want too much scraggly stuff. Okay. But you can do you. I feel like I touched that, so I'm just making sure that I didn't move that word. And then we're going to ink this one up, and then I'll show you what this looks like done, and then we'll be done for the day. After I run my errands, I hope to come back and work on the library journal. And then I think we'll put the other one on the flower on the other end. That one's almost too wide. Okay, so let's get a couple of these flowers out. I actually, one fell down, so I've got one in this little dish. And then let's get one more out. We'll just get these at Hobby Lobby when the Paper Studio brand is on sale. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of Fabri-Tac there. Sorry for the buzzing if you can hear that. I'm going to put that right there at the bottom, not hindering that opening there for the paper clip. Try not to get it have it be in the way. Okay, like so. Flip it over. Do one on the other side. So again, I will put a word on these with probably some more of that gauze down here on each side. I'll put an eyelet and some seam binding, and then our little paper clip goes on like this right at the top. And again, that way you could just clip this onto the top of a page. It could travel in your journal, which is always nice. And then the benefit of doing that is, well, in any case, well, whether you Velcroed this on is totally up to you. I don't think I'm going to do it on any of mine, but you could still write on the back of your belly band as well. because it's detachable, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm still going to call it a belly band because it's got that functionality, but you know, we might play around with it when we actually get this in the journal, and I might glue one down just to, or use Velcro to adhere one of them down. We'll see. But that is our project for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I love the fact that you get all this writing space in that little booklet. So really, really epic. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.